Okay. Let's pop this in. It says we are live on our other channels.
We are live as people start filling in.
Get my check here.
I'm also looking at studio because I want to start sharing this too. Wait, on Facebook, is it Studio 22 or Media 22?
I got both. So I think on Facebook, I think it's Studio 22 Media. No, I don't know.
Well, which one are you going live on right now?
I'm on Radio 22. That's where I'm live.
Radio 22, okay. So, you know how we start everything. Wait, I don't see it on here for a lot. Oh, wait, is that it? No, that's the old one.
Oh, my Radio 22 is probably the app if you have to type that in specific.
No, I'm at the page. I don't see it though. It's not. I don't see it on here for Facebook yet. But what's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? Hopefully you had a blessed weekend. You know how we do. You control you. We start every podcast with what we're grateful for. I'm grateful for everything right now. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for time. So yesterday morning I got to have breakfast with both my kids, my wife, my future son-in-law. So it was nice to have breakfast before going to war, before we had another crazy day of fight camp. So that's always a blessing to be able to do that, hang out and whatnot. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. As I'm still waiting for this live feed that I don't see. Oh wait, is Radio 22 on Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it hasn't popped up yet, so that's fine. Like, oh wait, it says one thing is new. No, that's fine. But
I got it on here.
man, what? Yeah, look.
Why is it playing you like that? Oh, scroll down now. Ain't the first one? It's just so.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, what's going on with your phone, bro?
See what happened was. So today's topic, right? Hey, what's up, everybody? I see people joining in. So, real quick, today's topic, I'm basically going to be covering why men need to go through pain, why adversity is needed, why men need hardships to grow, why we need to go through that, and in a lot of ways put ourselves through that. And so I have a quote that I've been working on that I'm going to read. So, pain is the hammer that shapes a man, molding him into a form that is both resilient and refined. So I'm a big advocate of pain and suffering, major pain and suffering. I believe that it's something that we need to go through. I believe it's something that helps us out. And I'm going to talk about why we need to go through it and how we can get something out of it. So for me, pain and suffering works within us to make us personally a better person, the same way as running helps your cardio or lifting weights helps your muscles. So we need emotional and mental growth, and sometimes we need to push ourselves and put ourselves through a lot of pain in order to grow. That's the one thing that, man, I really wish sometimes that I would have understood better when I was younger. And I know a lot of older people probably say things like that. Man, if I could go back in time, the lessons that I would teach myself, or the lessons I would go provide for others and things of that nature, or what I would just put myself through. So when you think about it that way, the older we get, the more pain and suffering a lot of times we have to go through in order to learn certain lessons. when they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can, it's just painful. And it's not painful always in the way that most people think of pain. It's just the pain of it's not clicking right away and needing to have that patience to go through it. So when I think of men especially, see, I'm not going to speak on women too much. A lot of it though, ladies, you can take and apply to your life, but I'm going to stay focused on the men for the most part. The reason why men need to go through pain and suffering is because it helps us grow patience, empathy, understanding, and it keeps us in check. It keeps our ego in check. Finding that pain and suffering a lot of times is difficult to go out and get, especially in today's society where they don't push the narrative of being strong. They don't push the narrative of pushing yourself to the limits. Even in sports now, they still do what's it called, participation trophies. Like the beauty of losing is that it hurts. When you lose, it hurts. When you lose something, there's pain there. And you get something from it. You don't want to experience that again. So you push yourself to do better next time. And when you constantly push yourself, you become a better person. No matter what, you are going to become better over time. And that's something that we really, really do not do as a society as much anymore. So some of the ways that I know that work for me growing up is sports, of course, football, wrestling. And wrestling, man, I think, and it sounds funny, every kid should do wrestling. Either in the off season, just do like a wrestling camp. It's not even so much learning the techniques. It's the way you are pushed. Wrestling is a different kind of sport. It pushes you and grinds you differently than any other sport that I've ever witnessed. So I was blessed to play football, wrestling, and play sports my whole life. And to be honest with you, I honestly don't know what it's like to really just don't give other people hardships. Okay, thanks. Miss Magic, yes, of course. But if you stay chimed in with me, and I'll actually have something to say about that in a little bit. So I don't know what it's like to win a lot of titles in sports. I know what it's like to lose a lot and have to work harder and grind harder. Even in baseball, I remember we won a championship, and I had one of those like movie magical moments, bottom of the ninth. We win this game, we go to the title, they win the game, they go to the title game. 2 outs, 2 strikes, 2 balls. Coach tells me where to hit it. I hit it there and then send it over the fence. We win. Cool. Well, I couldn't play in the championship game because I was already scheduled to go out of town. So I couldn't play in that game. So I didn't get to experience the euphoric feeling of playing in the championship game, winning a championship game after helping us get there. And I'm very grateful for my coaches. My coaches had a lot of dope things to say. Hey, Trina, how are you? And that was really dope. But in football, I didn't get to experience what a championship was like. Well, ever. My freshman team, we won the division, but that's freshman. Like you don't do anything with it. And then by the time they reached the seniors, they were on the verge of winning a state title. So I didn't get to experience that with them because I already moved. So in fighting, I won fights, but I didn't win a belt. Now as a coach, I got to experience it, and I've experienced a lot of losses as a coach. So those hardships helped me grow within those fields. What's funny is that they transfer to your life so much. Going through losses and losing people. My goal is that my kids are adults by the time they lose their parents, before they lose their grandparents, so they don't have to experience that early on. I believe there's a benefit to losing people early on. It's just that's something that shouldn't be just brought about, right? Some of the ways that I believe that other ways that you can push yourself to become harder or stronger emotionally and mentally is just by working out. If you're putting yourself through a grueling workout, you're going to reach a point where it's like, I need to stop, right? But if you said you're going to finish this, I need to finish this workout, then you have no discussion with yourself and you just keep pushing through, and you figure it out towards the end, and you just it does something to your mind. It gives you a callus on your mind is the best way to describe it. No different than if you're working with your hands constantly, your skin gets really rough and you get a callus on your hand. Well, it does the same thing with your emotions and your brain. If you continue to push yourself past whatever limits that you have, your brain is going to callous over, your emotions are going to callous over. And that doesn't mean that you're incapable of feeling. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that it allows you to understand and have a deeper understanding of feelings. So it tends to make you a nicer person. It tends to make you a kinder person and a more understanding person. And the flip side, you tend to deal with the BS less. So you don't want BS in your life, so you won't tolerate it. But you can have empathy for others way more. So we got people chiming in right now. I feel the same way about singing. If I was getting praise with no L, I wouldn't push myself to the limit. Exactly. Makes me feel stronger after workout mentally, of course, because and not saying that every workout has to be hard, but those days when you have that hard workout or those days you don't want to work out and you go do it anyway, you feel way better about life. It's just, oh man, I'm glad I did that. I didn't want to push past it. Oh man, I didn't want to finish it. Oh man. But if you have those, what I call non-negotiable times in your life where it's like, nope, I'm not going to negotiate with myself. I'm going to do this even though I don't want to. We live in a society where I believe a lot of times we're told that we don't have to do the things that we don't want to because it hurts our feelings. And I understand the message behind that. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. However, you're teaching people not to push past layers that they have to push past. And then when they get in a tough circumstance, they're not going to know how to push past that. They're going to fold. And as men, we definitely don't want that. Excuse me one moment. And the reason why we don't want that is, and we're going to play a clip in a little bit here, is because when you have men, again, all humans, but especially men, when you have men that do not know how to control themselves, do not know how to push themselves, do not have understanding of their own emotional and mental capacities, those are the men that you have to worry about the most. And those are the men that women tend to let in and then get hurt by. Because on the outside, it looks safe, but they miss so many different things. And then that person can't control themselves emotionally, right? They don't know how to stay stoic, or they don't have a very long, what's the word, wick. They burn quick. They light on fire quick, and their temper just goes boom because they have no understanding of themselves. Those are the men that are very scary, because as men, we are physically stronger than women, so we could destroy a lot of things. And for the most part, it's not a big percentage of men that do this, but I think we're going to continue to see it grow because men are not being told to push themselves to the limit. They're not being told, go get it. They're not being held to a standard where they are required to push past their feelings. Like, you can't base everything on your feelings. You have to continue to push forward, right? And it takes a certain type of resiliency to push past that, right? Like if you have a wife and kids and you had a tough day, you still got to show up at home. right? If you're going through it at home, you still got to go to work. Well, I don't feel like going to work because I'm sad. What? And there's men that do that now. It's like, what are you talking about? You got to get up and go get it. You said you're going to do this, do it. And it's really that simple. When I'm having this discussion with my 14-year-old son, it's like, hey, your word is everything. So show up. You make a promise, you do it. You give your word, you do it. And I hold him accountable like that when it comes to his sports. I hold him accountable to that when it comes to school. It's like, don't say you're going to do this and then you're not going to give your all. Be great. And he used to say, well, I don't really want to be greater than, I don't know if I'm going to be greater than everybody else. And why do I have to be greater than anybody else? And every time it's like, hey, kid, I don't want you to be greater than anyone else. What I want you to do is be the greatest that you can be, and then let other people decide the rest. Push yourself to be the greatest version you could be, because the only person, pun intended, that can control you is you. You control you. So you have to push yourself to the limits. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to do those things. And in order to do that, and this is what scares a lot of society. This is what really worries people, is that men have to be animals. We have to be monsters early on. You want that pain. You want that suffering. I used to look at the things that I went through as like, at first I ignored them and just pushed them away. And then I looked at them like it's the worst. It's a curse. I've reached a stage in my life where everything that was done to me, or any pain and suffering I went through, is the greatest gift that I was ever given. Because I could push through levels of pain that nobody else can. Great, let's get it. I show up for work every day. It doesn't matter if I'm sick, tired. I don't get sick. I don't get tired enough where I can't go to work. They haven't made up pain yet that keeps me at home. Because every day of my life, I'm living with pain. I got to go through it anyway. So it's important as men that we're teaching other men this. And I know everybody's quick to say, and I hear it on the podcast, a red pill type podcast, or any podcast like that where they're preaching about men and women. They're always blaming, or a lot of times they blame the woman for the dad to not be in the kid's life. I call BS. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice. If you got to go to court, go to court. If you don't got the fees for a lawyer, then you better read the books. You better read a lot of law books and figure it out. Yes, you can't make that woman stay with you, right? That's on her that she left. Whatever happened, she left, right? But it's on you to stay in your kid's life. Because who else is going to teach him how to be a man? Who else is going to teach him that he's got to go through stuff sometimes and just can't rely on his feelings in order to grow and become better? Who else is going to teach him that? That's on you. These are the lessons that I gave my daughter. These are the lessons I gave my son. And I'm no longer with either one of their moms. But I'd be damned if I couldn't be in their lives. I'll be damned if I'm not in their life 50% or more. And with my kids, it's more. You can't tell me nothing as a dad. Nothing. This is my job. This is my responsibility to teach them that. Right? And I didn't have a dad that taught me that. Have these discussions with me when I was young. So I find it's on me to have these discussions. Hey, we got to push through this. When you have your own family, you're going to want to be able to know that you could go through these hard times. Because like I said at the beginning, it's a muscle. We got to encourage it to grow. We got to continue to be better. Trust me, you want that adversity. Seek that adversity out. Find it. If you can't find it somewhere, walk into a gym. I don't care if you're 800 pounds. Walk into a gym and just go for a minute walk. That's adversity. Face it. Go into a martial arts gym. Learn a new skill. BJJ, Muay Thai, boxing, learn something. You can learn a new language. You can read books. You can do all these little things that help you grow and push you through something. You don't like to journal, do it anyway. You don't like talking about this stuff, do it anyway. Figure something out that's going to push you mentally and emotionally to your limit sometimes. And for me, it's usually physically doing things, but also reading books, studying, doing different things, because that's difficult for me, right? Like I watch my son struggle with comprehending things sometimes. I have to read things 3 or 4 times to actually comprehend it and understand it. I'm okay with that now. It is what it is. He's doing the same thing. And it's encouraging him to go through that. Right? Can you scroll up? I'm 29 messages. Oh man, we're going deep here.
This is the top one.
Okay, I wish that worked in my situation. He's just cold-hearted with a hardened heart, existing due to his upbringing. So is that Mrs. Carter? So is she the one that said something earlier about men just don't give people hardships? No. You went past it. No, that was Miss Magic. Okay. Yeah. So what'd she say again? Cold-hearted. I wish that worked in my situation. He's just cold-hearted with a hardened heart existing due to his upbringing. So if Mrs. Carter, if that's your man, then you got to make a choice. Your man isn't if your man's if his heart's hardened, then that means that he's been through so much that he doesn't know how to open certain things up, and that's okay. That's okay. He may not talk. He may not do those things. You got to love him anyway. If you're making that choice to be with him, you got to love him anyway. You got to make that choice to love who he is. Love who he is right now. And if you can help him grow, but you can't force that upon him, right? So I didn't do it. Says, I'm grateful for all I have and I am blessed. I don't have all I want, but I have everything I need. That's it. That's it. You're always going to have everything you need because we're still alive. If you want more, you got to go out and make it happen. You got to go out and put in the work. All right, real awakening within. Okay, that we could scroll down. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Only because PU succeed. I don't know what that means. They always come back normally at a bad time. Oh, okay. So they're talking about women. So look, I am a firm believer that it's 100% on the woman and 100% on the man on the great things that happen in a relationship and the mistakes that happen in a relationship. If you've been with me this whole time since I started this podcast, I've talked about before I'm divorced. On my second marriage. There's lots of reason why my first marriage failed. I am never going to just blame her. I am going to take 100% of my issues. I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to properly talk about things. All I knew how to do is work 60 to 70 hour weeks. And that sounds great. But if I'm not at home as much to actually build and maintain that relationship, then how am I going to keep it? That's on me, right? I had a dope relationship with my kids, but I didn't have a dope relationship with my ex-wife. And that's 100% within my control because I was the one working so much, right? And I wasn't doing anything extra to build it. I can only control me, right? And it's on me to look at the things that I can improve on and become better at. So whether a woman comes back or not, that isn't the point. The point is, it is on us as men to make sure that we're being the fathers that we should be, regardless if we're in the relationship or not. And a lot of times when men are out of the relationship, whether the woman left him or he left her or she cheated or he cheated, whatever the reason is, right? They ditch the kid or they let it be easy to walk away from the kid. Oh, she doesn't want me to have more than than every other weekend. I don't have the money to go get a lawyer. As I stated, go read some law books, come figure out how it works in your state, and fill out the paperwork needed to go keep going back to court to fight for your child. Fight for more time. Fight for it because it's important. That's your legacy. That's important. And I don't want to hear this, well, the state has it against men. Who cares? Who cares? Right? It's a fight. Train. But you can't train these. You got to train this. You got to train your emotions to stay calm. Learn how to use your words and communicate what it is that you really want. It's really that simple to me. Where there is suffering, there's growth. Where there's dark, there's light. Of course. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like Habib said, you said, you tired? Nobody care you tired. Yes. And I feel that because I coach fighters. I used to fight. So I feel that 100%. It doesn't matter if you're actually, my fighters just went through this yesterday. So they looked tired. They looked frustrated because they were getting beat. Because yesterday was a Shark Tank. And a Shark Tank means that they're basically doing 5 to 10 minute rounds. Yesterday was 10-minute rounds, 1-minute intervals. So they're going against somebody new every single minute. So after like a few minutes, you're dead. And now you're getting beat. And they're taking you to the deepest realms of the deepest oceans. And now you got to keep fighting. It's a battle. You got to do more than just survive. You got to come after them no matter what. You got to attack. You got to attack. And at some point, like it was after the first 10 minutes, and I just laid into them because I hated what I was seeing. It's like, why are you looking frustrated over this? Why are you doing this? Why are you not pushing yourself? You're both holding back. I don't care if you're tired. Do not let them take you down. When it's your turn to take them down, get the takedown. When it's your turn to get dominant position, get dominant position. When someone else is coming up and beating on your stomach, walk them down. When it's your time to hit pads, drill those pads. Because trust me, when you got someone across from that ring or that cage from you, they don't care if you're tired. They don't care. And this is what I mean by recognizing that your feelings, my favorite quote in the gym, your feelings are valid, but who cares? Who cares? You got a job to do. Do your job. Do your job, period. Because you don't have time to sit there and let your feelings get in the way of that. Because you chose the profession that someone is literally trying to beat your head in. You don't got time to say, I feel tired. No, your hands better be up and you better go forward. You better show good technique. Because that's the only way you're going to get through this. When the job is done, then you got time to think about your feelings, right? Then you have time to sit there and think about what you're going through. But in the moment, you can't. Right before we went on, I was like, man, I'm tired. I need more sleep. Cool, my feelings are valid, but we got to work. And I only know how to do that because I've pushed myself to the limit. I've had coaches push me beyond my limit. And then I hold myself accountable for my actions and I keep pushing and keep pushing and keep trying to grow and keep trying to grow. And I make mistakes all the time. I was planning on fighting in Thailand. That most people would think that's me pushing myself to grow. No, because fighting is easy for me. It is simple. I love to do it. I am psycho. Punch me in the head, kick me in the body, let me punch you in the head, and I'm going to kick you too. Let's go. That's fun for me. That's a great day for me. What's hard for me is to read more books on how to be a better, to become more intellectual, to start using my upper brain instead of just the survival skills that I have, because I've been fighting my whole life. So learning how to talk and communicate and process my emotions differently and basically really train that monster not to always be there, that's a harder job. To be able to be patient enough to sit there and edit videos and post on social media and do all that stuff and not just knock somebody out, that's hard for me. To be able to continue to build these plans and do that's hard for me. So that's making me a better man. I've got 3 kids who their dad don't want to be in their lives. See, that's that BS. If we talk to the dad and he blames the woman, I'm gonna say some real disrespectful stuff. I'll be nice at first. I'll be like, yeah, that's understandable, but why aren't you in the kid's life? No patience for that. I mentor a whole bunch of kids in the juvie system. I instantly know which ones are being raised by a single mom. That doesn't mean a woman can't raise a son, but she doesn't know how to teach him to be a man. She knows how to teach him how to be emotional, nurturing, all those different things. But a man can only teach a man how to be a man. Just like I can't teach my daughter how to be a woman. I didn't teach her how to be a woman. I taught her how to function and be an achiever and go after life and do these things, and told her how men operate. It was up to the moms to be able to do that other part. I counted on them for that, right? Because I'm not a woman. I can't teach her how to be a woman. Obviously I can. Do you have a dad? I didn't meet my father until he was on his deathbed. I spoke to him for a few years, and then I didn't meet him until he was on his deathbed. My stepfather he was in the house, but if you've been following me this whole time, he constantly called me the N-word, sexually abused me, physically abused me, and that all led to mental things too. And so I dealt with violence early on in my age, and then had to figure out how to navigate that. And like I said earlier today, for most of my life, I just ignored that and would fight. Ignored it and fight. Sports fighting, and I would get it out with women in behind closed doors. So my drug of choice wasn't alcohol, wasn't any other drug like that. It was literally fighting and sex. Those were my drugs. And I leaned on that for a very long time in my life. If I had a problem, fighting or sex could cure it. No problem. I can't force a grown man to call their child. You're right. What? Can you keep scrolling down?
Yeah.
Whoa, that went fast. Isn't that common sense? That's who. Don't society teach that on men? No, society. Now, see, I don't think society is as bad as other people happen to think of it as. What I do believe is that society wants men to be a bit softer, right? Because we could be very violent. We could be very dangerous. But I don't think that helps us. That and again, the clip that we're going to play pretty soon here, you'll get a better understanding what I mean by that. When you have participation trophies, everybody's a winner. No, let them lose. Let them cry. Let a kid cry. That's why I love fighting. That's why I love BJJ tournaments. It's why I love Muay Thai tournaments. It's like, no, there's a clear winner and loser. It's why I like boxing fights for kids, wrestling matches for kids. Like, let them lose. Let them cry. Let them feel that pain of losing. They're growing right then. They're becoming a better human being right then. Because they lost. Now they got to learn how to navigate through that pain and that suffering. That's great. Let them go through it. We don't need to teach that because society teaches us that. See, if you're talking about dads don't need to teach their sons, within reason. So I'll be honest, I would lecture my daughter more about certain things than I do my son. Only because my son plays sports. My daughter she didn't get into anything until she was 14. My son has played sports his whole life. So yes, through that, he's learning lessons that I don't have to lecture him about, right? There's certain things he's learning through sports. I've seen him cry on a wrestling mat because he got beat. I've seen him cry on a football field because he got destroyed. I've seen him have to learn how to navigate through losses, right? So because of that, those are lessons I don't have to teach him right off the bat. I just have to be there for him. I have to hold him down. I have to know that he's not going through it alone. That's my job. Now, there's times where I've had to chime in like, hey, you're slacking. I seen you at practice. Did you push yourself as hard as you could? Okay, then. How great do you want to be? Do you want to be the greatest version you could be, or do you just want to be average? I want to be the greatest. Well, kid, you got to work. You got to push yourself to your limit all the time and then do a little bit more. I do now. The older I get, the easier it gets for me. I didn't before. I didn't even know existed. I didn't. None of you. Okay. Keep going. I mean, they're chiming in when I'm chiming in, so I appreciate that very much. Husband, right. I get he don't, but I do. But yeah, it's a struggle every day. So Mrs. Carter, what I would tell you as a man, and as a man that didn't know how to communicate, I wasn't always emotionally intelligent. I'm still a caveman. I am loud and proud of caveman. I happen to be an emotionally intelligent caveman now. So the best thing I could tell you is to, instead of worrying about him, focus on you. Make yourself a better woman. Not to leave him, because if you made the choice to be with him, hey, be a woman of your word, especially if you got married. If he's not being abusive, if he's not doing those things, hey, ride it out. What I will tell you, though, is to focus a little bit more on yourself. Is there something that you want to accomplish in this world? Do you want to go work out somewhere? Do you want to do arts? Do you want whatever it may be, that if he's not opening up in the way that you may want him to, that's okay. First of all, as men, we don't communicate like the same as women. It's the funniest thing in the world. When it's funny to me when my wife is communicating with me and I say something back, she's like, well, why didn't you say that? I'm like, because I'm not a woman. You grew up with all women. You grew up with sisters. That's how you and your sisters and you and your friends communicate. I'm a man. I don't communicate like that. I do different things though. Like I'll validate her and I'll say things to like let her know I'm trying to be empathetic, right? But it doesn't come, I'm not going to say it the same way, right? So what I would say is focus on yourself within your marriage, right? What's that? First time on your live, but dude, I'm going to follow because I appreciate, oh man, thank you so much, Unity. I appreciate you. I was saying when you bottle things up, it will come back normally at a bad time. Yes. So I've talked about that before. So if you picture, especially us men, if you picture us like the Incredible Hulk, right? And we just keep bottling it up and bottling it up and bottling it up, we lose control of ourselves because then we're a ticking time bomb when it comes out. And now men and women both do this. But again, I'm focused on the men right now. When we explode, everything comes out at once. And we end up going off on someone or on something that didn't deserve it. So it's better for us to find a good way to get it out, whether it's working out, writing, speaking it. Like I'm an advocate of all of them because I use all of them depending on what I'm going through. Like I'll talk to myself in the shower. I'll write things out. Every morning, it's funny because I took a picture because I got coffee from Matt Brown. And so I wanted to support him, take a cool little social media picture. I don't like none of that stuff because I don't like, to me, it looks corny to take a picture early in the morning to show off what I'm doing. But essentially I got a couple books that I'm reading right now and I'm writing notes in the book based on what I'm thinking about right then. And then I have a notebook that I might write down what I'm grateful for and go through all those stuff. And it's like I use them all. And then I go in the shower and I say my prayers. I say what I'm grateful for. Like I use all these things because that's what I have to do to keep that demonic side out of me from taking control. I'm always going to have that monster in me. I'm always going to be a caveman. I'm always going to be a monster. But I don't want to just rely on that side of me, right? I want to be better than that. So yeah, you got to find a way to get it out. I can't handle the stitch on it. When in doubt, ask yourself, that's all y'all got to do. If a person has had trauma, how do you build a better relationship with a partner? So, that's, okay, that's a deep one. Mary Beth, Oh, okay.
Somebody else that may have an opinion on that.
Man, so when, again, I'm going to speak on the male side. If you're saying if the man is suffering from trauma, right? Understand you are making a choice to be with a bomb. Best way I could say it. Because depending on the style of bomb, right? He could be a bomb that just shuts down, doesn't communicate. That's usually me, right? I get to a point where it's like, nope, we're not, and I'll just be quiet. You have the others that'll yell. You have others that are physically violent. You have others that will go out to the bar and get drunk. You have, like, there's so many different kinds, and that's all humans, right? So when you're dealing with that, understand that you're making an active choice to deal with that. And if you made the choice to be with that person, I keep saying it, love them for who they are right now, because there's not a guarantee they will change. And if you make the choice to be with them, you are not allowed to be mad at that person 10 years later because they are still that same person. That is a choice that you made. You could see the potential in them and you could want them to become that person, but there's no guarantee that they're going to make it there. So you can't turn around and be mad. Why haven't you? Nope, that's wrong. So don't be with someone based on their potential. Now, here's something that I don't think is told to women enough. Women, ladies, you are the most powerful creatures in this world. You have the ability to get us to start a war. You may not have asked for it, but we will literally go to war for you. We will die for you. We will do anything it takes to show you that we love you. So we will do the work. You got to figure out how to present it to him. Because if you tell him to change, he probably won't. If you come at him, look, it seems stupid, right? It doesn't work all the time. The moment, for me especially, the moment I hear an aggressive tone in a woman, I no longer, I don't even want to speak to you in that light, because I don't gain anything from arguing with you. I don't gain anything from yelling at you. I don't gain, and I won't put my hands on you. So at this point, I am having a conversation with someone that I can't go to war with, because the moment I choose to go to war, I'm going to win this war. And whether I was right or wrong, I'm going to lose. It is pointless. So it's all on presentation. I tell people all the time, honey works, right? Be sweet. Now, how you're sweet, that's all dictated on the man you're dealing with. I would say leave some books lying around. Ask him if he wants to read these books. Ask him if you can tell him about the books that you read. Listen to some videos when he's around, right? That talk about things like this. Offer therapy for both of you. And it really depends on the trauma, right? I am a person that's I went through it. I went through a lot. And my answer was to hold it in. So there's just understand that if you're making the choice to be with him, you have to love him where he is right now. And as a man, if you're with a woman who's going through trauma, you also have to love her where she is right now. And the biggest thing, and it's the hardest thing, it's one of the hardest things to do, is to recognize that they are not mad at you. They are mad at what happened. It is not right that they are taking it out on you, but they are mad at what happened to them. And they're that kid, what do they call it? They call it the inner child now. That kid within them that suffered that trauma, or whatever age it came about, that kid has to grow. That kid has to feel safe. That child within them needs to know that they're safe. And that's really hard when you've suffered a lot of stuff. And it depends on the trauma. You have trauma for veterans that are coming back from war, and they've seen things that most of the world will never comprehend. So it all depends, right? It really all depends. But the biggest thing is, if you chose to be there, love that person for who they are, continue to make yourself better, and try to understand that they are not personally upset with you. They may be upset over something that happened, But what triggered you were just a trigger at that moment that caused that explosion, right? And the explosion you got probably wasn't even, nobody would agree it was valid for that situation. They blew up because they still have not healed from over here. And it's not right that you have to suffer through that. But every single human has suffered through something, and it's all going to come out at someone else. You just happen to be the person in their life that is going through it with them, and hopefully they will grow with you and become a better person with you, right? As we keep scrolling, they have to love themselves first. It's very true. None of us know. Kim, I would say, yeah, I am blissfully ignorant and always searching for more knowledge. I love it. Mary Beth, it's the most difficult thing. It takes two. You have one unwilling to participate. Man, yeah, that's so tough. When someone hurt me, try to step outside of my feelings and try to see what triggered their anger. Yep. Yeah. They're as tired as you are and find their weakness. No. What do you know about hard work? Oh. Nothing. Hey, in comparison to an oil worker, I don't know nothing. Nothing. So there's tons of people that work harder than me. I know nothing. I love that. As we go, you're so toxic. Wait, Christian, what's toxic? I want to know what's toxic. The only life we know. We chose, man, just keep scrolling. It's nothing you've done. It's their issue. I have. Yep. That's right. They're encourage more. Oh, wait, go down. Toxic, unhealthy. Wait, no. Keep going down. And that's not how it works. You only know how to do that because of toxic. What? I need to know what you're saying is toxic. I don't know if I'm talking for me or that man. Easy for anybody. Words hurt more. Words, I will say, words cut deeper for me than any knife I've been sliced with, any punch I've been hit with, any bat I've been smacked with. Like, words hurt more. I couldn't say, like, it just hurts more. Are you my dad's belt because you hit different? Life of Tim, thank you. You know what? I appreciate you for saying that. That's super dope. And don't forget to like, yo. Don't forget to hit that like button. Survival instincts are innate. Yes, survival instincts are biological tools to help us, survive. But we've gotten to a point in our lives where we're not fighting in wars anymore. We're not fighting for our lives. We're not struggling for food. We're not doing all these things, right? We don't have to just live in survival mode. Most people hurt you are doing it to defend themselves, yeah, exactly. I need some maturity, self-growth, self-accountability. I beg, make it, okay. I'm not reading that out loud. Right. Not softer, it's emotional, intelligent. Yeah, can't make someone want growth. Teaching losing is good. It builds character. Exactly. I would never let society fully teach my kid. Some things are important that you have to teach. Yeah, I understand that, but the thing is they're going to have to live in society without you too. So they should understand how to function within society as well and understand the intricacies of losing in society and going through things in society as well. I'm not saying public schools or anything, but sports and martial arts and different things like that definitely teach that. Keep scrolling. You saying the things guys need to learn. You're doing great things. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm trying to work on controlling my emotions. God is working with me. Hey, here's the thing. I say this to my wife, right? Because who said that? Could you scroll up just a little bit? Who said that? Tiffany, hopefully you're still here, mama. So this is what I tell my wife. I do not care about the emotions that you feel. Meaning, right? Get as angry as you want. Get as frustrated as you want. Let it all out. If you're sad, you're sad. Just let it. Your actions are what you can control. Because as humans, especially women, or you know what? Not even women. Matt Brown and I were talking about this. UFC fighter Matt Brown and I were talking about that podcast will be coming out. That episode will be coming out shortly. How masculine energy is like this. Feminine energy is like this. That doesn't mean feminine is just women, right? It could men have that too, right? So if feminine energy is like this, you may not be able to control your emotions. And let's be honest, I rarely have been around. I've been around a lot of women in my life, and rarely during their cycle. And I'm not trying to offend. Do you see one emotion? I've never been around a pregnant woman and seen one emotion. I've seen 3 different emotions within 5 minutes. Again, you may not be able to. You can't control your emotions. Because you could be sad and don't know why you're sad. You could be happy and you don't know why you're happy. It's the actions that you must learn how to control. So if you're mad, controlling how you react to that means everything, right? And that's what they mean by men being stoic. I can be mad, right? I can be heated. How I react to something is 100% on me. Some women don't have the ability of being sweet. I mean, either do men. I mean, so I'm not going to just put it on women. So we both suffer that, right? We both suffer that. And so but how do you lead? Now, see, I'm not saying women can't lead, but because overall, if men learn how to get a handle of their emotions, like we have testosterone going through us. That right there can help us control our emotions. Women have more estrogen. That makes them a little chaotic. Softer too. That's why as women get older, their testosterone levels grow, ours drop. Our estrogen levels grow, women's drop. That's the balance. We balance each other out all through life, right? Even as we get older. So it's our job to lead. It's our job to lead. If you know you have a woman that is flipping out, right? Don't match that energy. Give her a hug. Show her love at her most chaotic times. Let her know she's safe. And hopefully in return, she does the same when you're going through it, right? And if it's not happening like that, right? If it's not happening like that, and if you're not learning from each other and learning how to do that, you both are messing up. Not just her, not just you. Because even if you're quote unquote doing everything right, then why are you still in that relationship? Mary, what up? So not even the last, okay, I've already addressed that. Words can be repeated in your mind for years. Yes. You can learn the knowledge, you can know the knowledge. It's not until you put it into action that it really matters. I've learned knowledge, like things I've learned 5 years ago, I'm just now putting into practice. Only way words hurt you if you're in love with that person. I mean, yeah, valid. A lot of people out here trying to survive hungry, homeless, and hopeless and homeless. Yeah, this is true. And I understand mental illness, and I understand the chemical imbalance in a lot of people. But there's a lot of people I talk to that's living on the street. They just don't want to work. Some people, not everybody, but some. And so there's so many ways to make money now. It's crazy. You can make money doing legal activities really quick. So you don't have to live that life if you don't want to. Now, I'm not going to say everybody, and we're not going to get into that debate. I just know there's too many ways to make money, and people are choosing not to. That I'm here, I'm invested. Tiffany, I feel you. Hence what they say, happy wife, happy life. And I don't like that one. Happy spouse, happy house. Because if the wife is happy, if the husband is doing everything he can to make that wife happy, what's he doing for himself? Both spouses are happy, the house will be happy. Because not everybody's going to have a great day all the time. So I got one of them.
Wow.
I mean, you live your life, homie. Appreciation is motivation. So let's play this clip right here where I'm talking about that Jordan Peterson is talking about being a monster. So y'all can get a full understanding of what I'm talking about. Oh, wrong clip. That's a dope clip though.
Seat and all of that. It's like, no, wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Up in here. Oh, perfect.
That's just a short clip. That's him talking with Joe Rogan. And we have to go through the pain and suffering so we can figure out how to control that monster. He put it the best, he gave the best analogy or example for it. Beauty and the Beast. She didn't choose the pretty looking white dude. She didn't choose that dude. Big muscles, money and all that. She didn't choose him. She chose the monster. She chose to love the beast because even though he's a beast, he saved her. He put her first because that's what a real man does. A real man is a monster, and the woman knows he's a monster, knows he's capable of destroying life. But she knows he's going to put her first. And she appreciates that monster because if push comes to shove, if someone breaks into that house, he's going to take that bullet. He's going to jump in front. He's going to save her. He is going to put the needs of his family before himself because he is that monster. Right? And the only way to truly unlock that monster to a point where you can control it is by going through adversity, by pushing yourself and creating this pain. I'm lifting weights. Oh man, I'm hitting that bench. I can't hit it. I can't hit it. I can't hit it. I can't hit it. Oh man, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. And you push yourself so far that you unlock something new in your body. You unlock something new in your mind and your heart. And you got to push through that. You get your heart broken, okay, shed some tears, cry it out, figure out where you could do better, right? How you could do better to function in life, and get up and do it again. You tried to build a business, it didn't work, try it again, try it again, try it again, try it again, and learn from each mistake that you made. You're building a business, you made mistakes, learn from it. Like everything is about growing and becoming better and then leading others. More importantly, your family. Once you start doing that, figure out what else you'd love to do. But again, I'm not saying women can do this too, but I'm not a woman, so I'm not speaking to them. But men for sure have to unlock that monster and control it. Like, that's what I love fighting. That's why I love fighting. Because you see fighters rarely just beat up some regular Joe civilian. That it just doesn't happen. You don't see too many veterans that come back from war just going to look to mess with some civilian. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it happens so rarely you don't hear about it very often. Right? Because we know what it's like to do damage. Someone that really knows violence doesn't go looking for it, doesn't go seek it out. Like the moment you become a fighter and you get registered in states or different states, they give you a card. You now have what's it called? It's called unarmed weapons or whatever it's called. Like basically these are your weapons now. I have one for these. I have a license for my conceal and carry. Like, but I don't go seeking it out. I don't want it. Why do I need to go seek it? But trust, you put your hands on my family. we're having a whole different discussion. You will see a very ignorant version of me that enjoys causing pain. And I love that I have that side. My wife loves that I have that side. She doesn't walk on curbside. I'm always on the lookout. It is what it is. So, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Wait, what is Daisy Dog saying that's a fairy tale?
You're doing the Beauty and the Beast thing.
Yeah, but how is that any different?
But who's this came in and said it's a metaphor?
Yeah, okay, good.
Got your back.
Man, because I will take the cutie. My beasts have been selfish and evil. You'll take the cutie, but the problem is a lot of times the cutie, like as you're saying it, is egotistical, doesn't know how to push through anything, and will run away to save themselves over saving you. Now, if you've chosen monsters and it didn't work, I understand it's scary. I would advise that you continue to grow and really decide what you want. As I believe that I'm speaking to a woman. I don't know if you're male, but if you are a woman, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I would say keep working on you and decide what you really want out of a relationship. So many people, because relationships are so easy to get into, having sex is so easy to go do now without consequences, that everybody's just doing it without actually putting thought into it. It's the greatest. I could have, out of all the things I've ever taught my daughter, I'm happy that I taught her how to value herself and value her body and her mind. Right? Because I was honest. I'm like, look, man, dudes want this. So when you make the choice to do that, because I'm not going to be there, when you make the choice to do that, make sure it's somebody that you really, 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 really know values all of you. Do not just give it away. She's been with the same dude for going on 7 years. Granted, she's a baby to me. She's 20. Same dude, 6, 7 years. Something worked. Right? And he happens to be one of my fighters. So I really love the kid. So it's understand what you want out of a relationship and make sure before you get into it and before you give something away that they share the same values. I've talked about that on here plenty of times. And I'm not judging. I didn't check any of that stuff. And I'm very blessed that the women I have 2 kids with 2 different women, and I'm blessed that I was in long-term relationships with them before, like when we had a kid, right? Because my son made fun of me. My son and my wife made fun of me for they called me a thought when I was in high school, based on what they were reading in my yearbook, because of what all these girls were writing. I was like, I didn't really have an argument for that. So, but my son isn't moving like me, because I taught him the lessons based on what I've learned, right? So you can say you don't want that a beast. Understand when I say a beast, he's still a nice guy, or not a nice guy. Sorry, he's a good guy. He'll open the door for you, right? He'll see if he sees an old woman walking down the street, he'll help her with the groceries. But don't get it twisted. He will destroy the world in order to protect his family. That's the monster I'm talking about. Ashley, what up? I'm married and my husband and I are one. When he hurts, I hurt. Yeah, I love that. He never defended me. Yeah, so you didn't pick a beast in the way I'm talking about. You picked an egotistical man that didn't know how to put his family first or put the woman he was with first. He chose self. I'm not saying that, dude. I love that. I didn't do it. I love that. That's a great message right there. Dogs move on. The cutie isn't accountable. I'm 64. I figured it out now. There you go. That part. Congratulations, bro. Nope. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, again, the whole topic, just why it's important for men to push past adversity, why we need to seek it out, especially as we get older. I'm 44. And the way, again, I'm going out to Thailand to train and become a better Muay Thai coach, right? My plan was to fight until I realized I really had to take a look in the mirror and say, man, you're choosing the easy path. And you have to find things that are difficult and pursue them. And I'm not saying that you have to go do everything that you don't want to do. I'm not saying that at all. But I had to really look at my life. Podcast, working on a book, owning a gym, doing all these other things. What's going to help the things that I want become better? Is it fighting, or is it doing all these other things that are boring and tedious to me and aggravating and causes me to, it tests my patience? Because those are the things that I should be doing. The old dog has to learn new tricks. And it's a painful journey, let me tell you. That's dope. That's always a good thing. You can, like I said, we're all ignorant. We're all learning. Life is very simple. Keep learning. But man, I appreciate y'all chiming in. Oh, how long we go? We went over an hour. My goodness. Thank y'all for rocking with us, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Man, 28 new followers. Am I right on that?
Yep.
Man, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Tune in next Monday, same time, about 10:30 a.m. Central. Again, that's Central Time. Also, I'm going to have a link for the Matt Brown interview coming out soon. And we're just going to keep pushing it nonstop. I appreciate y'all so much. Love y'all. Keep tuning in. Keep striving. DM me with messages too. Messages or comments, things that you might want me to talk about. If you're going through something, let me know. Man, holla at y'all later. Peace. Man.